The Promulgation of Universal Peace by Abdul Baha Abbas. The body politic may be likened to the human organism as long as the various members and parts of that organism are coordinated and cooperating in harmony. We have as a result the expression of life in its fullest degree. When these members lack coordination and harmony, we have the reverse, which in the human organism is disease, dissolution, death. Similarly, the body politic of human dissension, discord, and warfare are always destructive and inevitably fatal. All created beings are dependent upon peace and coordination, for every contingent and phenomenal being is a composition of distinct elements. As long as there is affinity and cohesion among these constituent elements, strength and life are manifest. But when dissension and repulsion arise among them, disintegration follows. This is the proof that peace and amity, which God has willed for his children, are the saving factors of human society, whereas war and strife, which violate his ordinances, are the cause of death and destruction. Therefore God has sent his prophets to announce the message of goodwill, peace, and life to the world of mankind. So if we call ourselves children of God, it can lead to people taking it literally. So we wouldn't want that sort of thing, no, would we? Inasmuch as the essential reality of the religions is one, and their seeming variance and plurality is adherence to forms and imitations which have arisen, it is evident that these causes of difference and divergence must be abandoned in order that the underlying reality may unite mankind in its enlightenment and upbuilding. All who hold fast to the one reality will be in agreement and unity. Then shall the religions summon people to the oneness of the world of humanity and to universal justice. Then will they proclaim equality of rights and exhort men to virtue and faith in the loving mercy of God. The underlying foundation of the religions is one. There is no intrinsic difference between them. Therefore, if the essential and fundamental ordinances of religions be observed, peace and unity will dawn, and all the differences of sects and denominations will appear. And now let us consider the various peoples of the world. All the nations, American, British, French, German, Turkish, Persian, Arab, are all children of the same Adam, members of the same human household. Why should dissension exist among them? The surface of the earth is one native land, and that native land was provided for all. God has not sent these boundaries and race limitations. Why should imaginary barriers, which God has not originally destined, be made a cause of contention? Well, it could be said that races have their strengths and differences, but the races don't exist to keep humans apart. God has created and provided for all. He is the preserver of all, and all are submerged in the ocean of his mercy. Not a single soul is deprived. Inasmuch as we have such a loving God and Creator, why should we be at war with each other? Now that his light is shining universally, why should we cast ourselves into darkness? At his table is spread for all his children. Why should we deprive each other of its sustenance? As his effulgence is shining upon all, why should we seek to live among the shadows? There is no doubt that the only cause is ignorance, and the result is perdition. Discord deprives humanity of the eternal favors of God. Therefore, we must forget all imaginary causes and of differences and seek the very fundamentals of the divine religions in order that we may associate in perfect love and accord and consider humankind as one family, the surface of this earth as one nationality, and all races as one humanity. Let us live under the protection of God, attaining eternal happiness in this world and the everlasting life of the world to come. O thou, kind Lord, thou hast created all humanity from the same stock. Thou hast decreed that all shall belong to the same household. In thy holy presence they are all thy servants, and all mankind are sheltered beneath thy tabernacle. All have gathered together in thy table of bounty. All are illumined through the light of thy providence. O God, thou art kind to all, thou hast provided for all, dost shelter all, conferrest life upon all, thou hast endowed each and all with talents and faculties, and all are submerged in the ocean of thy mercy. Thou kind Lord, unite all, let the religions agree and make the nations one, so that they may see each other as one family, and the whole earth as one home. May they all live together in perfect harmony, O God. Raise aloft the banner of the oneness of mankind, O God, establish the most great peace. Cement thou, O God, the hearts together. O thou kind... Yeah, it's not appropriate to call God a father. That implies some psychological issue. God, gladden our hearts. Through the fragrance of thy love, brighten our eyes. Through the light of thy guidance, delight our ears with the melody of thy word, and shelter us in the stronghold of thy providence. Thou art the mighty and powerful. Thou art the forgiving, and thou art the one who overlooketh the shortcomings of all mankind. Talks Abdul Baha Abbas, delivered in Cleveland, 6th of May, 1912. Talk at Euclid Hall, Cleveland, Ohio. From stenographic notes, this is a very joyous evening, an evidence in itself of the possibility of uniting East and West. An Eastern man appearing before an assemblage of reverent Western people. The East and the West, the Orient and the Occident shall be united. If we search history, we shall not find the record of such an occasion where one has traveled from far East to the far West to address a meeting of this universal character. Actually, one has, but not the nature of the Baha'i movement. This is a miracle of the 20th century, which proves the seemingly impossible may become real and possible in the kingdom of man. Praise be to God, the dark ages have disappeared, and the age of light has at last arrived. The sun of reality has dawned. With the supreme effulgence, the realities of things have become manifest and renewed. The mysteries of the unknown have been revealed, and great inventions and discoveries mark this period as a most wonderful age. Through the ingenuity and inventions of man, it is possible to cross the wide oceans, fly through the air, and travel in submarine depths. At any moment, the Orient and Occident can communicate with each other. Trains speed across the continents. The human voice has been arrested and reproduced, and now man can speak at long distances from any point. These are some of the signs of this glorious century. The great progress mentioned has taken place in the material world. Remarkable signs and evidences have become manifest. Hidden realities and mysteries have been disclosed. This is the time for man to strive and put forth his greatest efforts in spiritual directions. Material civilization has reached an advanced plane, but now there is need of spiritual civilization. Material civilization alone will not satisfy. It cannot meet the conditions and requirements of the present age. Its benefits are limited to the world of matter. There is no limitation to the spirit of man, for spirit in itself is progressive, and if the divine civilization be established, the spirit of man will advance. Every developed susceptibility will increase the effectiveness of man. Discoveries of the real will become more and more possible, and the influence of divine guidance will be increasingly recognized. All this is conducive to the divine form of civilization. This is what's meant in the Bible by the descent of the New Jerusalem. The heavenly Jerusalem is none other than divine civilization, and it is now ready. It is to be and shall be organized, and the oneness of humankind will be a visible fact. Humanity will then be brought together as one. The various religions will be united, and different races will be known as one kind. The Orient and Occident will be conjoined, and the manner of international peace will be unfurled. The world shall at last find peace, and the equalities and rights of men shall be established. The capacity of humankind will be tested, and a degree shall be attained where the equality is a reality. All the peoples of the world will enjoy like interest, and the poor shall possess a portion of the comforts of life. Just as the rich are surrounded by their luxuries and palaces, the poor will have at least their comfortable and pleasant places of abode. Just as the wealthy enjoy a variety of food, the needy shall have their necessities and no longer live in poverty. In short, readjustment of the economic order will come about. The divine sonship will attract the sun of reality, will shine forth, and all phenomenal being will attain a portion. Well, humanity has to go through its becoming, doesn't it? Consider what is this material civilization of the day giving forth? Has it not produced the instruments of warfare and destruction? In olden times, the weapons of war The weapon of war was the sword. Today it is a smokeless gun. Warships a century ago were sailing vessels. Now we have dreadnoughts. Instruments and means of human destruction have enormously multiplied in this area of material civilization. But the material civilization shall become organized in conjunction with divine civilization if the man of moral integrity and intellectual acumen shall unite for human betterment and upliftment with a man of spiritual capacity. The happiness and progress of the human race will be assured. All the nations of the world will then be closely related and companionable, and the religions will merge into one, for the divine reality within them all is one reality. Abraham proclaimed this reality. Jesus promulgated it, and all the prophets who have appeared in the world have founded their teachings upon it. Well, if they had revelation, they had revelation. If they had inspiration, they had inspiration. It wasn't that they had some idea and then they just said something. We can do that. Therefore, the people of the whole world have this one true, unchangeable basis for peace and agreement in war, which has raged for thousands of years, will pass away. For centuries and cycles, humanity has been engaged in war and conflict. At one time, the pretext for war has been religion. At another time, patriotism, which has produced a lot more killings. Racial prejudice, national politics, territorial conquest, our commercial expansion. Almost every war has been about resources. In brief, humanity has never been at peace during the period of known history. Well, there's been some periods here and there, at least even more than just in areas. What blood has been shed? How many fathers have mourned the loss of sons? How many sons have wept for fathers, and mothers for dear ones? Human beings have been the food and targets of the battlefield, and everywhere warfare and strife has become the theme and burden of history. Ferocity has characterized man even more than animals. The lion, tiger, bear, and wolf are ferocious because of their needs. Unless they are fierce, cruel, and unrelenting, they will die of starvation. The lion cannot graze. Its teeth are fitted only for food of flesh. This is also true of other wild animals. Ferocity is natural to them as their means of subsistence, but human ferocity proceeds from selfishness, greed, and oppression. It springs from no natural necessity. Man needlessly kills 1,000 fellow creatures, becomes a hero, and is glorified through centuries of posterity. A great city is destroyed in one day by a commanding general. How ignorant, how inconsistent is humankind. Mankind slaves